They are working today. All right. Today we're talking about how to master your day. This concept is something that's near and dear to my heart. It's one of my favorite topics. It's the concept of stepping back and designing your perfect day. And the thought process really simply is if you could have it all your way. Start by, if you grab a pen and paper, just write down, if I could have it all my way, what would your absolute ideal day look like? Where would you wake up? Who would you be with? How would it feel? What would be possible? How much energy would you have? What are all the characteristics of your absolute ideal day? Now, I'm going to pass this to my wife real quick because I know this is something that she's excited about as well. But I've done this myself. I've done this with clients. I've done this with people attending workshops, thousands and thousands of people all over the world. This one process has the potential to change your entire life for the better and bring more joy, more fulfillment, more freedom, more purpose, cause you to wake up feeling energized and alive every day. Feel like your life has meaning. You're doing it for a reason. It's a really special process, and it's simple. Anyone can do it.
Okay, so where do I start with this one? It's so good. This is one of my favorite topics. I think that on a on a personal note, like I already knew I loved you when I met you,
Hmm?
but the first time I saw you share this experience with people, I remember really this just deep feeling of love and gratitude and appreciation and just awe of your gifts. And I think that I've seen this tool, I've heard about this tool changing so many lives. I've seen this tool bring grown men to weeping tears, and I've seen 15,000 people stand to their feet in a stadium. It's so beautiful. And so this is a little bit of just like a sneak peek or preview to what we're doing in about 20 minutes, right? We have 20 minutes. We go live soon with our Core 4 community. This is also a tool that we teach inside of Performance Coach University, without a doubt. It's transformational. It wakes people up to stop going through their life by default, by just what they do every day. And this is, I don't know why I do what I do, instead putting so much more intention and heart and passion and living truly aligned with their soul's calling, with their deepest meaning and purpose, bringing their deepest meaning and purpose to life, with like not needing motivation or coffee to go after your dreams, but feeling so inspired and compelled to go after them, because you have designed a day that is so deeply aligned with who you are and what you're here to do. It's incredible. So I'm super excited about this tool. And it's one of the coolest things too, is when you do it, you feel alive in it. And there's this funny thing that happens in the experience that you do with it, which is our brains are wicked smart, right? But when we can rehearse, when we can go through anything in our life, we can become 2 steps ahead of our brain. We can trick it into thinking it's already happened or that we're already living it. And it creates this biochemical experience within your body that makes it feel so real. And what's beautiful is when you have that experience that you take people through, and then you wake up and inch by inch, you start making the progress towards living your ideal day. That day you wake up and you're going through your gratitudes or you're reflecting on your day and you go, what? I'm living it. This is it. This is happening. I've dreamed about this day and it's so real. Is one of the most euphoric moments of your life, right? And what's beautiful is like sometimes euphoric moments are, that moment when you fall in love and you find the love of your life, or you welcome your first child, or whatever it is, or maybe you go after that dream and you're actually doing it. And this is one of those things where you can actually experience this every single day, that moment of euphoria.
Yeah.
And what's incredible, I want to come back to you about this, is that some people, they're kind of like, well, I don't know, like every day's different and stuff like that. And the idea here isn't that every day is the same, it's that the essence of the day that you dream of, the values, like the feelings that you get to feel and the emotions you experience, or the actions you're taking, just so many different elements of it. It's not the hour by hour. And what's cool too is when we've revisited this in different kind of seasons of life, right? I know I had to rewrite mine once we welcomed our son into this world, and it's been so beautiful. And not a whole lot changes, but it is one of the most one of the superpowers that you can really tap into of your own is the power of flexibility. And if you can become flexible with this too, it allows you to experience that ideal day even easier, even faster, more often than not. It's really cool. So yeah, I'm super pumped about it. I think, I don't know, like, how do you feel about it?
Um, so the concept of this, of designing the life that you wouldn't trade for anything.
Hmm.
It's designing a life that's so fulfilling, so rich, so abundant, so purpose filled. It fills all the buckets. It makes you feel alive. It makes you want to help share it with others. I always describe it like popcorn. People go out, and when they finally experience, it's like, oh, wow, wow. And the first thing they want to do is help others experience theirs. And so it's popcorn. Once one kernel pops, it's like that
Hmm.
feeling of wanting to help the others pop to experience that feeling. It's a euphoric feeling. It's exciting. Um,
Hmm.
I'll tell you a few of my favorite stories around this. I remember I had a client who worked for a major bank, and I sat down with him, and he was interested in this concept, and I had him just write out, what's your absolute ideal day vision? If you could have it all your way, what would your ideal day look like? Your perfect day. And he wrote it down, and he says, I'd wake up, I'd be in the country with nature around me. I'd go for a run on the beach. I'd come home to my wife, and we'd have kids, and I'd have this work that just brought passion and purpose into my life. And I'd have a home office I'd work from, and I'd be building this global business that makes this massive impact on the world in this unique way. And I'd have time to journal and think about what I'm grateful for and think about what I'm excited about. And I'd be working with some of the brightest and best humans on earth. And I'd have the ability to travel and take my family on these incredible trips and all this stuff. And he kept going. And I was like, wow, that sounds incredible. And he goes, I know, right? And I was like, well, how close is this to the life you live right now? And I remember him being like, well, I'm living in central London. There's not really a beach or ocean around here. I guess there's kind of wilderness if I go out of the city. He's like, it's not really close to what I'm doing right now. And so step one was getting clear on the vision. Now, every now and then I have people come to me and tell me something like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's so many different things I want to do. Like, I don't know where to start. And what Amanda said earlier, which is important, it's like, just start on how you'd want to feel. If you could have it all your way, when you wake up each day, how would you want to feel? Would you feel excited? Would you feel grounded? Would you feel peaceful? Would you feel passionate? Would you feel alive? Would you feel euphoric? Would you feel purpose? Would you feel, what would you want to feel each day if you could have it all your way? Just that core feeling like, wow, if I could start the day like that, that would really, truly just make me feel so alive. Second pet question, based on how you want to feel, where would you want to be if you could have it all your way? I love waking up to the sound inside of the ocean. So one of my favorite things is right behind my wife there, if I, wake up and move the curtains, we have blackout curtains, but if we move the curtains, there's crashing waves right out front of our house. I love seeing the bright blue ocean and bright blue sky every day. I love listening to the waves crash all night. It's soothing to my nervous system. And so I would love to wake up on a beach near the ocean, on a tropical island paradise in the middle of the Caribbean. That concept, that was kind of foreign when I started this. I was living in the front den of a house with 4 roommates. My door, I didn't have a door, I had a curtain. And I was nowhere close to the ocean. We were in San Diego, but we were probably, I don't know, 15-minute drive from the ocean. And so to be able to have a place on the beach, I remember I finally was working towards this vision. I got a place near the beach. I could kind of see the beach. If I looked, stuck my head out a window and looked down an alleyway, I could kind of see the ocean from my place. Or I could see the bay. I couldn't see the ocean yet. That was a few more years till I got to that side. But it's the concept of having a vision of how would you feel when you woke up? Where would you want to be? Next question, who would you want to be with? Who would you want to be there? Do you want to wake up next to the love of your life? Do you want to wake up surrounded by a family that loves and cherishes and appreciates you? Do you want to wake up and have a bunch of little ones pile up and do a snuggle puddle on you? What's that concept of, if you could have it all your way, how would you feel when you wake up? Who would be there with you? Where would you be? Now let's take it a step further. If you were to then get up and enter the day, what's the first thing you'd want to be able to do on your perfect day? Would you want time to meditate, do some breath work, go sit in the sauna, get a workout in, go walk in nature, do some yoga, journal? What would you want to be able to fill the morning hours of your day with if you could have it all your way? Now, it's interesting. My wife mentioned we had to rewrite ours when we had our son, because we used to have this morning routine where her and I would go for a walk every morning, and we'd tell each other what we love about each other, what we're grateful for each other, what we're excited about, and that walk changed because now we have a little guy, and he's not quite old enough to go on this specific walk with us every day just yet. It's getting close though. As soon as he's old enough, we'll take him with us and we'll all go on a morning walk every morning. Yeah. But there's this little gap where we had to rewrite what that looks like. And I've rewritten it probably 2 or 3 times since we adjusted that, where I was like, ooh, I'm going to wake up and do breath work and journaling. And then I was like, no, I'm just going to wake up and go straight to a workout. No, I'm going to wake up and go sit in the sunlight on our roof deck. No, and it's just changing it to find what is that piece that makes you feel most alive? What is that piece that makes you feel most connected or most rejuvenated or most amped up? Roxanne says, difficult day today. Sorry to hear that. Anything we can help with, let us know. And so the concept of where would you be? How would you feel? Who would be with you? What would you do to start the day? And then think of this. If you could have it all your way, what type of projects would you work on throughout the day? Morning hours, let's say, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., all the way till noon. What kind of projects would you work on if you could have it all your way? What are the types of projects that would make you feel alive, passionate, purpose-filled, like you have meaning in this world, something that's worth doing, something that's exciting, something that really truly brings out the best version of yourself, something that you'd look back on and be proud that you did or were a part of or accomplished or created or worked on or built or designed or experienced? What's something you look back on and be like, wow, how cool that we got to participate in that. How cool that I got to be a part, or I got to lead or create or design or develop or support that come into life. What would you really be proud of, inspired by, excited about? Something that if at 80 years old you look back on your life, you're like, you know what? Thank goodness I did that. Like, that is one of the most important pieces of my life that I got to participate in.
Your audio is getting a little funny.
My audio's a little funny?
Now it's good. It was for a second. Maybe you were too far away from it.
How about now?
Great.
So that thought process, though, and I, for some reason, lunch seems like a fun part of this day. Like if you could have it all your way, and you were to go grab lunch with someone you really loved or cared about, who would you go have lunch with? What would you talk about at lunch? Where would you go to lunch? I always ask how much joy, passion, purpose, how much laughter would be over that lunch conversation.
I have a question.
Yes.
What robs people from this experience?
Being unconscious about it. So just living in default, just waking up and saying, yeah, that's great. And then having some story of, oh, that's great for you. Yeah, I'm sure that's wonderful for you, but you don't understand what my life is like. I don't have the privilege to live like that.
So
If
the
you don't
question,
think, and I always tell people, if you don't believe it's possible for you, you're right. So step one is you have to believe it's possible, even for people like us. And so step one, I think it's possible to live my ideal day. And for most people, when I've taken them through the process, lots and lots of people, I've done this all over the world, have told me, you know what I realized after really getting conscious, really getting aware, really making a deliberate intention to write this down? I'm actually not that far off. I went, really? What are the 2 or 3 things you do different that would just make it your perfect day? And they're like, you know what? Instead of waking up and rushing off to work, I'd actually spend time with my kids and I would take them to school in the morning. And that would just really fill my heart. And I was like, wow. And he's like, I didn't realize I was that close. I was just missing that moment to connect with my kids before I get into the busyness of the day. That one adjustment, boom, would fill my heart with joy. Or someone saying, you know what? I keep telling myself the story of I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to get my morning stuff in. If I just had time for me, and someone saying, you know what? Screw it. I saw Roxanne saying, I just need to commit to make it happen. And it's like, boom, someone says, I'm going to commit to making that happen. All of a sudden, bam, I'm right back in the zone again.
I want to,
Sometimes it's just those little adjustments.
yeah, there's so much good stuff that you just said there. One, your intentions, instead of working your way through life or the day by default patterns and not really thinking and putting intention into what do I actually want to experience today? What would be the most fulfilling thing? So one, intention, and two was just recognizing the control that you do have over your day. Sometimes we just outsource it, or we don't take time to just stop and think about, like, what is the micro adjustment that would make a huge difference in my life? What am I tolerating right now that if I just address this, just made a slight shift, like, the reward would be so much greater than the effort it actually takes to just make that adjustment. And I think so often we overlook the reward versus the work, right? It may take just a little adjustment, a little bit of work or effort, putting in just a little bit more intention and mindfulness or thought into why you do what you do or what you're tolerating that you maybe don't have to be, and making that shift and experiencing so much joy, so much bliss. I need to work on structure, make it happen every single day, and commit. Beautiful. I'm so excited. You have just, we have 5 minutes before this. We probably should wrap up so we have a little bit of time to catch our breath. I'm so pumped. I love this topic so much. I fully believe, foundational to experiencing the most blissed out, abundant, blessed, fulfilling life that you could ever imagine. I think this is like the foundation to it all. I like get teary thinking about it. I love it so much. I cry every time you do this experience. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite things. I'm like, please do this for them whenever you're like speaking anywhere. So anyways, for those of you that are interested in joining us, we're doing this live, and there will be a recording too. It's amazing. It's in both of our programs, actually. I'm sure you're going to do it slightly different for this one. But it's in our Core 4 Challenge, which is our group coaching program to help you optimize the 4 most important categories of your life. It's also, if you want to share this experience with others, it's in Performance Coach University, where we train ICF accredited coaches to bring high performance to their one-on-one clients and their teams. So it's incredible. Cool. Okay. I'll see you soon.
I'll throw this out for people. One of the coolest parts of the process of coaching people is helping them design a life that brings them joy, fulfillment, passion, purpose, aliveness. You take someone who feels like they've been meandering through life, just kind of going through the motions, and you help them nail these parts down. And all of a sudden you watch them come to life. You watch their whole humanness change. You watch their energy and aura expand. You watch the aliveness of who they are as a person come to life every day. And all of a sudden they feel excited. They feel a reason for living. One of the coolest things that I've had the gift of doing after doing this for hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people all over the world, is just little notes I get where someone says, "Thank you. I feel like life is worth living again." And the neat part is there's so many people on earth. We need help reaching more of them, which is why we built Performance Coach University, to share these tools, how we take someone through the process to you so that you can lead other people through this process and we can ripple out into the globe and help bring to life more and more people. If you're interested in that, just send me a direct message that says, "I want to become a coach," and I'll share all the details with you. Okay, we have to go